Hi guys, welcome back to Thursday Top Lessons. Hope you've liked the video so far. Please do subscribe to our channel. Today we're going to talk about Nike. Phil Knight, the creator of Nike, penned his memoir. And what a memoir! The humor, the writing, the description, the people, it's just mind blowing. Perhaps one of the best memoirs written ever. Shoe Dog. So this memoir describes his journey from 1962 to 1980 and then his realization sitting in 2007. There are certain learnings in life which stick with us throughout and somewhere become our guiding principles. The parallels he draws with such guiding principles with instances in his life, of course with the benefit of the hindsight, are the highlight of this memoir. Here it goes. So he starts by asking the most fundamental question: why is it always the most difficult to get started? Phil starts this book with a description of his morning jog. Just like jogging, most things we've done or are already a part of or aspire to seem to be the most difficult just before we begin. Take that first step. He said that the best advice to myself is just don't stop. Just like a runner, where the act of running itself is the destination, you set your goals within that. There's this one line in the book that simply blows your mind away. It says that play, that's the word, the secret of happiness. I'd always suspected the essence of beauty or truth, or all we ever need to know, either lay somewhere in the moment when the ball is in midair, when both the boxers sense the approach of the bell, when the runners near the finish line and the crowd rises as one. There is a kind of exuberant clarity in that pulsing half of a second before winning and losing is decided. I wanted that, whatever it was, to be my life, my daily life. So play. Next, he talks about the warrior spirit. He says, I hated war, but loved the warrior spirit. I hated the sword, but loved the samurai. This is something that most of us live through. Our conditioning defines us to love the warrior spirit, but lifting the sword is deemed bad. I personally feel that it is only this spirit that has defined everything we've done as human race. Put to destructive use, we've had two world wars. Put to constructive use, we have Apple, Google, Tesla, Adidas, Nike, Virgin Group, etc. of the world. The brands are much bigger than their founders. So, what's the spirit that your brand stands for? The next lesson is on selling. He says that I'd been unable to sell encyclopedias. He was slightly better at selling mutual funds. So, why was selling shoes different? Because it wasn't selling. I believed in running. I believed if people got out and ran a few miles every day, the world would be a better place. Belief is irresistible. I personally believe that no products are sold in the world. It is the belief that sells. Here's his take on competition. He says that competition often brings out the best in people. The art of competing is the art of forgetting. Forget your limits, forget your doubts, your pain, your past. Forget that internal voice saying no. Now here's a lesson from Mount Fuji. He says that there were many ways down Mount Fuji, but there was only one way up. So all of us who believe in the ultimate summit must endure the path. Loving what you do is the only key to perseverance. But truly, there is only one way up. Hustle and grind is what it takes. Here's his take on leadership. He says that leadership or lack thereof under extreme conditions is like war. And business is war without the bullets. Look at all the stalwarts. It's always Coke versus Pepsi, Virgin versus British Airways, Apple versus Samsung. They're all in war. He also says that probably Adidas wasn't arrogant at all. That to motivate myself, I needed to see them as a monster. Being second irritated me to no end. It also drove me hard. So we all need that one Goliath, that one bully, that one enemy that we imagine. We just need that to beat the hell out of them. Here's his take on wisdom and failure. He says that wisdom is an intangible asset, but an asset all the same. One that justified the risk. Fail fast was the chant. So if you have to fail, fail fast, because the wisdom that comes after a failure can be implemented in your next battle in the war. So that, my friends, is how you grow. And life is growth. You grow or you die. Here's his take on confidence. He says that more than equity, more than liquidity, that's what a man needs: confidence. Ever wondered how you clinched that deal when you knew your homework wasn't enough? It is the belief that we have, which translates into confidence and then transcends beyond to make the other person join you in the belief. And no matter what the sport, no matter what the human endeavor, really total effort will win over people's heart. Now, let us look at his take on certain business functions like supply chain and marketing. He says that supply and demand is always the root problem in business. It's been true since the Phoenician traders raced to bring Rome the coveted purple dye that colored the clothing of royals and rich people. There was never enough purple to go around. It's hard enough to invent and manufacture and market a product, but then the logistics, the mechanics, the hydraulics of getting it to the people who want it and when they want it, this is how companies die. This is how ulcers are born. And on advertising, he said that I did not believe in the power of advertising at all. He used to ask in the meetings, can you definitely say that people are buying Nikes because of your ad? Can you show it to me in black and white in numbers? There was silence in the room. Here's his take on hiring. He said that when you hired an accountant, you knew he or she could count. When you hired a lawyer, you knew he or she could talk. When you hired a marketing expert or a product developer, what did you know? Nothing. And the typical business school graduate, he or she did not want to start out with a bag of shoes selling out in the market. So plus they all had zero experience. So you simply roll the die based on how well they did in an interview. We didn't have enough margins for error to roll a die on anyone. Now let's see what he has to say about burnouts. He says that maybe a cure of any burnout, I thought, is to just work harder. If our desire is strong enough, the fatigue will not come till we reach our goal. Now here's also an interesting take on evolution. He says that the cowards never started and the weak died along the way. That leaves us. This is the history of Oregon, where he belonged, where Phil Knight was born. So you must Google the Trail of Oregon to know more about it. But this is no less than the theory of evolution in mankind, industry, sports, science, and I feel it will hold true forever. To close, here's his advice for all the people starting their careers now. He says that not to settle for a job or a profession or even a career. Seek a calling. Even if you don't know what that means, seek it. Fatigue will be easier to beat. Disappointments will be the fuel. And highs will be like nothing you've ever imagined.